Hi viewers, welcome to Kaiten TV. Today our topic is Africa is corruption free or Africa is without any corrupt politician. What do I mean by this? Africa is without any corruption. The system that was left in Africa by the colonialists. That is the system that is not natural, or the system that is not used to the Africans, or the system is not working for the African, or the system is not designed for Africa. But it's not like the system is designed against the Africa. It's not designed against us. That is not just working for us. Why do I say it like this? Ever since the system was left, by the time the Africans gained independence, take a look at Ghana. They got their independence in 1957. Up to date, if you are to calculate, that is 69 years. But up to date, they're still crying about corruption. Take a look at Nigeria. They got their independence in 1960. If you are to calculate, up to date is 66 years. But up to date, they're still crying about corruption. Why? Because the system is simply not working for the people in Africa. The system that we had in Africa was the system of kingdoms, the system of chiefdoms. That was the only system that was working for the Africans. So if we are to get a better system that will work for the Africans, that means we have to go back to the system that was working for us, the Africans, during the pre-colonial time. That was the perfect system that was working for the Africans, but not the system that was introduced by the colonialists. We had a lot of powerful kingdoms in Africa even before the colonial time. Take a look at Ethiopian Empire. They had the best bureaucracy. They used to print their own coins. They printed their own coins, which was very rare in Africa at the time. Take a look at the Home Kingdom. They had the best army organization in Africa. They had even the female soldiers. If those systems were to be continued, not to be messed up by the system that was introduced by the colonialists, this system will still work. Take a look at Mali Empire. They had the best economy. They had the best economic system in Africa by that time. They used to do great in a high level. Take a look at Oyo Empire. They had the best political balance. Yeah. Take a look at Great Zimbabwe. They had the best. They had the best urban planning. They had massive. They used to build massive stone architecture without mortar. Those are clear signs that Africa was great even before the colonialists. Those are clear signs. Let's go out and see the way the election is done. The election that we are doing in Africa right now is so chaotic. They claim that it's free and fair, but every time after election, people will be crying, the election was being rigged. The election was not free and fair. Those things, they are all over Africa. And if such thing happen for a government who is entering into power and the citizens they claim that the election was being rigged, what happened? That means corruption will automatically dive in. I'm not saying the president is corrupt, but the system that they introduce for him is the one which is corrupt. The president is not corrupt. So in Africa, the kings were elected through heritage, through spiritual approvals. Like among the Yoruba, the Ifa oracle could influence our passion to become a king. That was what was done in Africa. But not like this one that we have. That is not even balanced, but that one was well structured. Not chaotic at all. It was well balanced, having the elders, having the youth, having the spirituality was also there. Having the family was also involved. This is the system that was working for Africa, but not this one. Let's take a look at the continued colonial boundaries that was created by the colonialists. These are the boundaries that was created by the colonialists, like Uganda. When you see in 1894, Uganda was declared a British protectorate, but before there was nothing like Uganda. But we had powerful kingdoms in Uganda already. That were already operating, and they were not corrupt. The system was working for them. We had Bunyoro Kingdom was there. We had Buganda Kingdom was already there in Uganda. All those things were already there. We had the Acholi chiefdom was there. Those things were there. They had their way of governing their people already. It was working for them. Take a look at Ghana in 1901. Ghana was also declared a British protectorate, but before there was nothing like Ghana. There's nothing like Ghanaian. So the colonial, they used to call it Gold Coast. So those colonial boundaries that was left in Africa by the colonialists, up to now, the president, they are still continuing with that same boundary that was left. We are calling ourselves Ghanaians. Yet we had the Asante Empire, they are there. The Fante State, they are there. So all these people, they had different religion, different culture, different beliefs. Then how can you start governing people who are having different religion, different culture, different beliefs? How can you start governing them? It won't work. It's just simple. It won't work. Group under one government, that's the president. So every time people will be complaining about the corruption because the system is simply not working. We had the red flags that were there, which shows that this thing were not working. We're not working. For the African, take a look at Biafra in Nigeria. Imagine The Nigerians, they just got their independence in 1960. The Biafra, like on the 30th May, the Biafra was declared a republic by Chukwumeka Udumeku. It was declared a republic inside Nigeria. That's a clear sign that the system was not working. That was a clear sign that it was not working. So this Biafra, they formed a republic. But the fellow Nigerians, they just reacted to it by war because they wanted one Nigeria. They wanted the unity in Nigeria. So these people were dividing themselves from Nigeria because they had a lot of oil in that region. So they wanted to control the oil. However much we divide our countries, even into four, take a look at Sudan. It was divided, but what changed? Up to date, there's still a lot of fight that is still going on in Sudan. Nothing has changed. Even though we divide the government, the system will not yet work. The only system that will work for us is the kingdoms and the chiefdoms. That's the system that will work for us. That is fair to the Africans. If you're still new to this channel, the conversation starts with you. This is a revolution. This is a true African story that we are going through every day. So let's know where the problem is coming from. The problem is not the president. The problem is not the leaders. The problem is simply the system. The only thing that needs to be changed is the system. So if they change the system, believe me, Africa is going to become a better place. Stay tuned. This is Kaitna TV. We love you. Bye-bye.